Ready, aim, fire.
Welcome to Live with Sensei. I'm your host, Jay Haynes, for the Film Sensei YouTube channel. In this 9th episode of Season 2, I am delighted to be doing something a little bit different today. Today, I and some of my fellow hit filmers will be revisiting some projects that we started, but for whatever reason, we never finished. So we're going to call this abandoned projects, but you could call it unfinished projects. I would like to introduce my guest today and let them say a few words. And we have, starting to my right on your screen, is Nathan with NDP Productions Workshop. Welcome, Nathan.
Welcome. Hello. Thank you for having me on here. It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here. To Nathan's right on your screen, we have Greg.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Also known as Gray Motion on the forums. And right below me, we have eating his breakfast cereal, Mike. Mike Miller with Triumph Visual.
It's not one of Sensei's live streams if I'm not eating cereal, right? Reese's Puffs today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And to Mike's right on the screen is Frank and Court. This is Spider Hank with Ow My CGI.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
It's great to see everybody. I do want to give a few shout outs, so please leave a comment in the chat room so that I can recognize who is in the house. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. Now's your chance. And before we start here, I just want to mention that I have some upcoming shows. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel on Saturday, I will be hosting Justin Barrett. Justin is a longtime hit film user and expert. He is also a very accomplished animator, having worked on shows like Veggie Tales and things like that. So we are really looking forward to having Justin on the show. And it'll be sort of a Q&A. We might talk animation. We might talk hit film. We might talk whatever we feel like talking about. But Justin is a great, great guy. Upcoming shows, we're going to have Frank come back to talk about Filmer and his updates on that. And Filmer, if you don't know, is a stepping stone between hit film and Blender, hence the name Filmer. And it is a great little product that he has developed. Also, I have Mike coming back, and we're going to talk about 3D model workflow. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I also have Zach Allen coming on with Zach Allen Productions, who is just crazy talented young man. And he is very excited to be coming on, talking about what's going on in his life. Did you guys see his tutorial that he did for FX Home?
That is that's the first true guest tutorial they've had in over a year. Tom was doing a couple, I think, before he worked at FX Home full time, but I don't think they I did see that, and good on Zach. That was
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a good tutorial too. Yeah, it was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. It's at the FX Home YouTube channel. So with that, let me see if there's anybody who's left any comments here in the chat room. Terry with 4K Productions is here, taking a break from a massive Particle City tutorial. Woo! Okay, so we're asking, is this are you doing this in hit film or in After Effects? Is this an After Effects tutorial that you're doing or you're playing with in hit film, or you just watching the tutorial? What's the deal with that? Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know. Let me see here. And that's everybody. Everybody else, give me some comments so that I can give you some shout outs there. Does anybody want to go first with a project? No, I'll go first. I'll show mine. All right. So I did this. Actually, let me do this one. Hang on here. Let me find it first. All right. Here it is. We were just talking about this one. This is add to the stream. This is based on Andrew Kramer's Crossfire tutorial that he did in After Effects. And believe it or not, this is done in Hit Film Express. This is not done in Pro. This is an Express effect. And it looks pretty okay, especially for Express. Mike will remember when I did this because I had to go to him to figure out these little,
the hex things figured out. Started with insect vision, and then what else? Some other filters.
It was an edge detect or find edges, and then I think I had to add a threshold onto it and that was my base. But it's all procedural. This whole thing is a procedural. No extra things. Oh, actually, I lied. There's a burn scar that came with his tutorial that I used right along the edge here. And you know why I didn't finish it? Why I didn't make a tutorial on it? It's dumb.
What?
It's dumb. You want to know why? Because at the time I was committed to keeping my tutorials under 5 minutes. And that was not an under 5 minute tutorial. And I didn't want to break it into different groups. So I decided to just stick with, just bag it. But now I do tutorials that are much bigger than that. So I probably ought to finish that one. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah. Basically, it's Andrew Kramer's tutorial that he did in After Effects, but with that. All right, wait a minute. So let me see here. Dafter Things is in the house. Oh, great to have you, sir.
Love the recent release. Oh my God, I loved it.
Oh yeah,
He was disqualified.
And I had Tony.
Oh,
on my
the
show.
new short that Tony posted. Haven't watched it yet, but I'll watch it after the stream.
It's fantastic, dude. It's great. It's an entry into the Gold Puffin contest, and it's great. It's wonderful. I was cracking up.
All right.
So Terry says it's a Blender tutorial. Blender, even more.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Who has something they want to show?
I can share something if you want me to.
Okay.
I'd be
Why
happy
don't we start with Nathan?
Yeah, I'm thinking I may have a dead USB port on my machine because right now my external drives are not loading up.
Uh-oh. Nathan, I'm waiting for your screen to populate. Just when I see it. Oh, it must be there. All right. All right. Are you ready to add?
Yep.
Okay, here you go. In fact, I'm going to just make that full screen.
What?
Ooh.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Go.
Wait, show it again. Show it again. All right, so is that a lockdown shot that you added motion to after, or
That was filmed freehand, and then I motion tracked it using the Foundry camera tracker, and then added the 3D models, the shadow. Also replaced the skyline as well.
Wow. Oh,
With
you
some
did
mountains.
a sky replacement on that?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Show it one more time. I want to see this. I want to look at the sky replacement now. Wow, that's great.
That's a full sky replacement, not just adding the Death Star, but like
I added the mountains and everything because there was originally a small village thing down there.
Oh, you're kidding.
So I replaced it.
So
You
that's
can see
the
some
mountains
small
and
errors
everything
around the
are
edges. But
wow. See, I would not have thought. I thought those were real mountains.
yeah, that's a really good matte painting. That's
Yeah, it
locked
is.
in there nicely.
And yeah, and it's very well locked in. I mean, like I would not have noticed that. Now, the Death Star, I probably would have figured out. Wow, that's really good. So why did you abandon that one?
well, it was mainly because I was going to make a longer short film based on Star Wars, but then I didn't really have the time because of school, work, and all of that kind of stuff. And I also didn't have the resources to kind of keep a short film going. So that was.
So
Mainly.
what was this? This was your protagonist landing or something on the planet?
Yeah.
And then he's going to meet up with the Dark Lord of the Sith and have a big lightsaber fight.
Probably, yeah.
Nice. I like it. I like it. You actually captured the look of an old Thunderbirds episode. I was just thinking that too. With the way that it lands. You know what I mean? That's what he's talking about. You probably don't know what he's talking about, but there you go. Yeah, Tony says, that looks great. What more would you be doing with it?
Well, it would have just been kind of a filler in shot for just a character landing, basically, yeah.
So is it really a finished shot?
Kind of, yeah. There's a couple of bits I probably would change, like I'd fix up the edges where you can kind of see some blending between the original sky and the mountains on the left side. But other than that, I think it was mainly finished.
How hard was it to key out the trees in the front?
My sky for this was quite overcast. It looks very similar to it is at the moment. So I just used a luminance key to key out the twigs and trees.
And that came out easy enough, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. That's fantastic. I love it.
Great job.
Yeah, great job indeed. All right, who has something else they want to share?
Oh, Greg.
Oh, Rick?
Greg.
Greg.
Me. All right, dogs. All right, I worked on a shot way last year from a model out of Blender, and I took it into hit film. Just playing with it. I play too much, so I posted it on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure Jay will give you a link to the channel.
I will.
I'll pull up the video that I got here. It's at a 1440 scale. Let me just put it full screen for you, Jay.
Okay, when you get it there, I'll share it.
All right, let's see what that looks like.
Okay, we're ready.
I guess we're not, huh?
All you got to do is play it.
How about if we just play it?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, see it?
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, just a, spaceship shot. I guess I love to do spaceship shots.
So you're really good at them.
That's straight out of Discovery Channel right there. You sure you didn't work on Interstellar?
Hey, man, I watch that Ancient Aliens all the time, and I'm figuring out how to do that.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a heck of a shot. So my question is, what is wrong with it?
I guess, yeah. I don't know, actually. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it. I'd like to put it into a total 3D space. Right now, the image of the Earth is just from the ISS.
Okay. So that's not like
No,
you didn't generate the planet.
No, it has a 4K or an 8K image from NASA.
Okay, so it's a background.
Right.
Okay.
Turn it 3D, push it way back in space, then size it up. I'd love it to be maybe 3D or full 3D model. That way you can do circles around the spaceship, different angles, so you can see everything instead of a flat image of the Earth disappearing.
Yeah, that would be cool. However, this is a heck of a shot.
There's the lights are missing. I don't. It's really hard. There's a lot going on in there. I got the windows of the cabins transparent, so you can see through to the other side. So you can see the Earth in the back wheels. There's an engine mount up on top that would be beautiful for a particle simulator with engine stuff coming out the back. Just different lighting.
So basically, you're saying
use things for it.
To me, it looks good, but you're saying, but I could do this, and this.
Oh yeah, different angles, different animation of the ship itself, different theme, different planet.
You're just a typical engineer. You can never know. You just don't know when to say, all right, it's good enough.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's the marketing department shows up and goes, "Let's sell it." That's when it happens. Right?
Good to me. Well, you know, if you look really close. So yeah, you know, and I love to use mats, you know, for the sun. That's something I learned from Mike a long time ago. You know, just basically duplicate the scene, crush everything to black and white, bring it back in as a matte on a sun layer, and just load up flares on that sun layer.
Yeah, but I stole that from Simon Jones.
That's just a great. I love that. You know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give that project up for anybody to use. They will have to have HitFilm Pro 14 or better, and I think it would probably work in Express too if they had the 3D model add-on. Right? Should.
I don't see why not.
I mean,
it's not using orb or anything like that, right?
No, the only thing I used was light wrap, angle blur. You know, you seen the FX Home thing here, their last thing. He's talking about angle blur and sharpening.
Mm-hmm.
Good tip, but I figured that out a couple of years ago.
Wow,
So
no
that's
kidding.
use, you know, to mask crappy shit on the model. You know,
That was news to me when I saw it. I'm like, man, this is great. You know,
better than full on blur. So.
Farrah Film says hi. Adapter things adds to the twigs in the foreground frame it really well, and it does. Going back to Nathan's there, and the depth of field in the shot was excellent as well. Nicely done, Ivan. Good to have you, sir. Terry says, love this video, Greg. Yeah, and Mike and I had a different. Oh, here it is. Mike and I had a different view on the drift. We might have been on crossed lines. Also, I like the line from the sun/star as it peeks around the dip.
Light rays.
What Tony Dafter is saying is that we both like the drift. We think it gives some extra life to the shot. More like that there is a camera there that had to avoid the object, rather than perfect CG camera, right? That it's the real drone camera flying back, and whoever's operating is like, don't hit the solar panel, right?
Yeah.
So it adds verisimilitude to the shot that the camera has to actually avoid the object because that happens.
Right, that adds a realism to
Perfect.
it. Yeah, that isn't there. So
and that's exactly why I had to animate the camera like that, is because I love the shot coming off the front of the ship, and I didn't want to change it. You know,
Yeah.
I love the beginning and the end, but the middle, the camera went right through the solar panel. A solar panel.
So you actually had to shift it.
So I shifted it over, and to miss the edge of the solar panel.
Right, which would make it realistic. When I did actually it was from Mike Miller's HitFilm University 1,000 subscriber contest. I submitted something and told him, don't put me in the contest, I'm just submitting something. But it was a space elevator shot.
I remember that one.
And I had the same problem. I kept running because my camera kind of swirled around the space station while the elevator was going down, and it kept running through pieces of and it took a long time to figure out a good trajectory where it didn't run in anything or through anything.
Right.
But
yeah, I'll share up that file, and I'm probably going to make a little mini tutorial on it to show. I don't see that map being used by too many people, so I figure I'll show you how easy it is to whip up a mat and some sun glare,
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's pretty
tutorial on that would be fantastic. Well, you've already put out one tutorial this week.
Yeah, somebody requested an Element 3D thing, so I spent an hour the other day and on through 5 minutes of Element 3D.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
I hoped it helped him.
It was a good tutorial. This is a good tutorial. All right, who wants to go next?
Michael.
You have thrown it to me? All right.
Did you get it? Did you find it?
I actually had to email myself one of the things I'm looking for off of my phone.
Oh, okay.
That's so weird. It's like,
That's
All right.
funny.
Let me start with.
Rand.
All right, I'm gonna let this one run, and this is. I kind of played it on a prior stream, but last time I was talking over it. So this time I'm gonna let its audio run.
Okay.
And then I'll kill 3 minutes of time. Hold on. I'm assuming that audio is coming through.
Yep.
All right.
Probably going to get a strike now. Thanks a lot.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
That's cool.
Come on, everybody, hum along so I don't get a strike now.
I'll go down on volume a bit again, just because it is the whole theme.
And Disney's gonna kill me, you know.
So, well, this will be when I talk about what it was and why it was, why I haven't finished it.
Blue.
And this was several years ago. This was actually a few months before they added the moderators to the forum. And if you were around in like January 2015, we just had a point where we were getting hit by spammers. The forum. You would log in and literally 100 pages of the forum would be spam, and it was all casinos and mostly
from Korea. Yeah.
Hence Korean spammers. And this was done in little pop out there. You're seeing all the little glitches and things that needed to be fixed. And this was done in HitFilm 3, I think. No, HitFilm. Yeah, started in HitFilm 3. So, I now have an entirely different. I'm not using that Death Star model anymore. I actually have a HitFilm Star where I built kind of a Death Star with the HitFilm logo for the dish.
Huh.
And I mean, this was done so long ago. Yeah, it was HitFilm 4. Yeah, HitFilm 4 because it'll be the logo. So Simon Jones was supposed to be one of the characters, and he's not with them anymore. And I think all of these 3D models are all Al Denelt.
Oh,
which is interesting because he's now a HitFilm user. He joined in on the Humble Bundle.
yeah.
So I've been seeing him post on the forums, and I'm just like, hey, dude, I use your models all the time, and
that's cool. That's great.
So, what was this? This is all Particle Sim and
Josh.
All right, I'll back up a bit just because I did have fun taking lines of all of the presenters. I ripped lines out of their tutorial, so the crew has lines.
Oh, that's great.
Today is all about making guns go boom.
Is that bonfire effect? What is it?
Yeah, quick 3D bonfire and then some other particle elements.
Yeah. Missile smoke?
Yep.
Mixing the good, the bad, and the ugly.
This is going to be super easy. Let's go.
That's great. Wow, these are impressive shots.
Shooting, guns, shooting, guns, guns.
That's there's 666 Casino,
Right? I'm going for it.
Axel! I like the HitFilm logos on his helmet.
Neat.
Nice.
This is the payoff.
Dang. Wow, that's cool.
That was a introduction.
And basically, the reason I never finished it is I was never happy with that shot. That's that's my draft layout of this particular shot, right? You can see all these textures are just kind of sloppy, and I just never finished refining that shot.
Huh.
And it's that simple. It's just I never finished that shot.
Wow.
So I and then it was like, well, now everybody, the logo's different, whatever. Yeah, I could get some tutorials out of this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, the building was projection, wasn't it? Wasn't that one of your projection shots that you did a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
The building? Yeah.
Yeah, you can see some earlier versions some versions of that without the explosions. Let me think.
Right.
Some of the stuff in here you did tutorials on.
I did, like the projection or displacement mapping. This is actually interesting. The other pilot shots are, right, like that one, that's a straight still with a displacement map and then some stuff laid in behind it. This shot, this building on the right, this red building. I don't know if Tony sees in the audience, so if he is, I got this from Tony. He found all the slices of an MRI and used the particle simulator to spread them out so that he could kind of float around the MRI graphic. And as soon as I saw Tony do that, I realized that there were ways of fake 3D modeling in the particle simulator. So this red building, I actually found the floor plans for the building that's being blown up, right, here pulled from the same graphic that's this left side. So these are all the floor plan, the layouts of the building, all being dropped at a very, very slight angle, just being spaced out. And then another emitter kind of dropping these vertical lines. So this is actually a full 3D structure that I'm flying around, but it was made with the particle sim.
Wow.
Right there. Yeah. And then, this one is Kirsty is a cutout element. It's a little guy with displacement mapping on him, but he's a cutout sitting inside the 3D model of the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some parallax on Kirsty, so it's giving just a little bit of play here on the edges as the light moves in the shot. There's just a little bit of play.
This is gonna be super easy.
Because I'm using the same displacement map as a parallax map to add a little bit of fake depth to him.
Let's go.
But you see how the light kind of plays across and over.
Yeah.
Be super easy. Let's go.
Yeah, that's great. How long did it take you to do this? How long did it take you to do that?
Oh boy, I was working on that one for let's go into the drive. Let's go into there. Nope, not that one. Video experience.
I mean, that looks like a lot of hours of work.
There was a lot of hours of work on that one. Let's see.
It'd be like 800 hours for me.
I was gonna say that's about how many it'd be for me too.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just looking at my screen. I worked on this off and on for months because some of the files go back to January 2015, and I worked on this off and on for a year and a half. With July 2016 being the last date on it.
A year and a half.
Yeah, if you go ahead and show my screen again for a second, Jay. And what I'm looking at here, this is a workflow thing. So when I'm doing a larger thing like that, I didn't try to do everything all in one project. I actually started in Sony Vegas, and my storyboard, and I kind of started out cutting my music. Usually I'll do music last, but in this case I was cutting to the music, so I just had just text objects in the middle of the screen, and it would literally just say, you know, approach Earth, fighters fly by, re-entry 1, re-entry 2, cut to Josh, shoot up the building.
Right.
So just these very simple, janky, nothing to them storyboards, and then everything was sent out of Vegas. So I mean, every shot was kind of made its own project. So instead of being everything in there, so this timeline assembly was that I'm highlighting here. That would have been my master project, so to speak, where all the sub renders were coming out, and so you can see that there are all these, and you see here some here on the top, 2017. That was when I changed. Let me think. As long as we're here, I can go to. Oh, here we go. When I redid the first shot with the Star Destroyer. Whoop.
Right.
Replace the Super Star Destroyer with that one, and there's just a glimpse of the hit film star.
Oh! Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's that 2017 shot.
Wow.
And yeah. So I don't know, for just as a workflow thing, everyone's mileage may vary, but when I'm doing the larger projects, I tend to just go ahead and do every project or every shot as a different project. But that is because I am doing my primary edit in Vegas Pro, so I can, use the Vegas integration to go back and forth on that. And a lot of Mocha on this one. A lot of using Mocha to remove elements from some of the video I took. There's let me think. Crappy sung music. Shot pre-renders. Right, so there's all the shot pre-renders that were used for the timeline assembly.
Right.
And I would just render out every shot as it was done. And source videos. Let's see if I can find the paper plane one.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, Coast to Coast join.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Coast
Sorry,
is
I wasn't
here.
looking at the screen.
Bill was here. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh,
Right.
paper airplane.
Yeah, so I had to remove that in Mocha.
Oh.
And then it got a little bit of a jitter in it, so, but I was using, again, taken from Simon Jones' Hit Film 2 tutorial on using the particle simulator to add distortion from jets. So, I was like, I'll just put a bunch of distortion over the wobble where the paper airplane was as I put in the fighter.
Covered it.
Yeah.
Right.
Junk it up.
Very cool. That was good.
Okay, that was my first one.
Awesome.
Frank, you're up apparently. We're just
Yeah.
gonna keep going in order around the table.
Let me see if we have any comments here. Let me see. The cockpit view is fantastic. Totally agree. I use his Jupiter 2 model for some of my things, says Terry. That's glad to hear he's a new hit film user. That's great.
Yeah.
Is that City Skylines?
Dafter. No, most of that it's an actual city in Korea called Songdo, Korea, and it's a planned city. The entire city is done on reclaimed land in the Bay of Incheon, and the whole city was planned from the ground up as a community. So the building that I happen to blow up turns out to be the centerpiece of the city, and the whole city's designed so that nothing's more than 15 minutes away. And the way the city's set up is, everything's recycling. So all the trash cans in the city dump into a central sorting area, and it conveyors over, and they can recycle everything, and everything was built for internet and fiber from the ground up. And most of it is either footage that I stole off of YouTube. It would just either be, somebody, some resident of the city's flying the drone around the city, or photos of the city from a Google search, or when, reading about the city, some of the stuff that they had planned is some of the... Yeah, I stole all the background plates.
So, and Bill
I
says,
stole them
hello,
all.
Court. Court, you got to reply. Hello. All right. I think we should go to Frank. What do you think?
Do I just click that button?
Well, let me see. You'll need to share your screen for me first so that I can see it, what we're doing here. There's a little button on the bottom that says share screen. Aha, there it is. All right, now you've got it shared. Now, yep, bring up what you're going to bring up, and then I'll add it to the stream here.
Oh, I gotcha.
All right. Oh, I see. This is a YouTube. Okay.
Whoa!
There it is.
Everyone has done one of these. Everyone and the grandmother.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
super old.
Yeah, that goes back a ways. So what did you make that in?
Hit film. I just imported everything into hit film.
And so was that from scratch, or was that a?
It was remember the Blender internal render engine?
Mm-hmm.
I used that and brought that in together with the same tricks I do now, except back then it was manual. So
Very cool.
I didn't know how to code back then.
Now you do.
Yeah.
So what was would you call that abandoned, or would you just say that was a practice thing and then
it's gone now. I mean, because that used to be whatever you call it, call sign on the forums was, my call sign was impatient procrastinators.
Ah!
Because I was impatient. But,
You just wanted to move on.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what I do too. I'll start on something and I'll be working on it, and then I go, well, this is cool, but I'm ready to do something else now. Yeah. Is that basically what happened?
Yeah, pretty much with that one. I mean, I only tried it the one time, and that was it. And,
Bill, it's good to see you, man.
Hey, Bill.
Bill has a live stream going on tonight, so go check that out. It's 8:30 my time, Eastern time. So he's talking drones, because he was here in Virginia with me. He's normally from Seattle, but he was here in Virginia with me, and he but I didn't see him. He was about 100 miles away, and we didn't connect. But he was visiting family and whatnot, and so it's great to see you. And I'm glad you made it home safe and sound. You ready to share another one, Frank?
Well, I was in Florida for over a week, and at one point driving down the I-85 at like 1 in the morning, I'm like, I never told Frank I was in Florida.
Yeah, you should go visit. Stop in at 1 in the morning.
Going between Ocala and Fort Lauderdale. What?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. See how.
Sorry.
All right, Frank, I'm going to share.
And I would have been wearing the... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Frank. Let's see this one.
all right.
I want to know what he was wearing. Hold on.
So this is Courtney and I's old house. I was just doing a match move out the front door in the front yard. And obviously it's not that great. The perspective is incorrect.
You got some flooding going on there, it looked like. That looks pretty good to me.
Yeah. I mean, it was all right, but this camera just, it's all I had.
It was a handy cam.
Yeah, but Yeah, that's about it. That's it for that one.
Wow, that's a great looking shot. You know, what was your idea there?
Just I back then.
Yeah,
Can
you
I
just
do it?
just
Let's
playing,
try.
just playing.
Yeah,
Just wanted to see if you could do it.
yeah.
He lives in Florida, don't you? I mean, should have seen it once or twice coming up to his porch, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Hurricane.
wait until a real hurricane comes along.
Right.
Paddling to get your mail.
You don't have those in Colorado, do you, Greg?
No, sir. I lived in
No.
Florida for 1 year and I got away. 12 feet above sea level.
Whoa.
I mean,
Yeah, that's something. All right, I'm interested in this one. What do we got?
Same place. I'm just practicing match moving and stuff like that. It was one of the first things I built a long time ago. Don't judge it.
Those are little markers. What are those? Just pieces of paper on the table?
Yeah.
Those are pretty easy to get rid of.
that's something I need to practice on. I need to start working match moves and using real footage.
Yeah.
This was actually for some dude in California. I ended up texturing it and whatnot, but he was making a fan Star Wars film.
Right, right.
And
Oh,
just-
the model, you mean?
This one right here, yeah. Here I had just built it and like I want to put it into see how it tracks.
So this is a Blender thing.
This one, yeah, from a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I did put it together and brought it over into hit film.
Hey, I have that those same TV trays exactly. Those wooden ones. Bill was visiting his 91-year-old grandmother. That's pretty cool.
I just love match moving. It's the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's real easy to do with the Foundry tracker, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially.
All right, he's got
Foundry
another one.
does make that stuff a lot easier.
Oh my gosh. I see. Is this a real car?
No,
I don't know. Can you tell?
Can you tell?
Got the shadows match pretty good to the driveway there, Frank.
Well, I guess.
We had his mom convinced this was in the driveway.
Yeah,
I believe it.
piss.
And the specular reflection is amazing. On the bumper there?
Yeah, the only thing that would be a giveaway on that one is just the way the fog lights we're reading on camera would be too bright for a daylight shot. That's the only giveaway.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did that. I wanted the people to know, okay, that was in effect. Because I mean, obviously they wouldn't glow like that. That looks totally fake. But that's good pointing that out, Mike.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I showed it to other people to see if they would see that. That look, those things are fake. Why can't you see that? That makes the rest of the car fake.
All right. Well, Nathan, do you have another one, or is
I do. I have a few more actually.
Oh, great! Let's see another one.
Right. Let's just get that up. Where is it gone? There it is.
You ready for me to share it?
Yep, that can be shared.
All right. There you go.
Okay, this is just something that I made a bit ago, just to test with the neon lights
Yeah.
effect inside of hit film.
That looks pretty good. You know, that looks very good.
I like how it draws it. That's cool.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, it's almost like it's on fire a little bit.
Yeah. Is that like a heat distortion or what?
I used the built-in distortion for the core and for the glows. So I used an electricity one for the core, and I used the heat distortion for the glow, just to create some kind of like smokiness off of the glows.
Oh.
Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And that looks like a finished project to me.
It was something that I meant to come back and completely finish, because there are a couple of bits that I want to change. Maybe just add some more glow to it that kind of brightens up some areas of it more than others, just to make it look slightly more natural. But I meant to come back to it, and I never got around to it. But then I went through some old files the other week and saw this. So,
and said, "Hey, that looks familiar." I have done that too. Where I go, "Oh man, I forgot I even did this."
yeah,
You know? Yeah, that would be cool if you could, if it was transparent and you could slide it, into a video. You know what I mean? In other words, it starts on a black background and then you fade in your video and it becomes sort of like a credit, and then it fades off while your video continues, sort of. Yeah, and it certainly looked like it would be transparent to me. So. All right, who has another one they want to show?
You're done, Greg?
Great.
No. My entire hard drive is full of abandoned projects. I really need to put something together, to make a little, instead of 20-second and 5-second shots. I really need 3-minute video like Mike showed, trying to do something anyways.
All of your stuff, all the highlights video of abandoned projects.
I just go to my YouTube channel. Everything that's there is abandoned.
At some point. Well, that's sort of true, I guess.
I like to practice. I love hit film, and I just like to practice.
Yeah, half of my great ideas are
make a model look good in hit film. I mean, it's easy in Blender, but man, hit film, you got to really know the lighting and linear reach of the light. I do a lot of that. I restrict the light so it doesn't go completely across the model and stuff. So that's my focus. A lot of models got holes in the mesh, so just to restrict the light so it doesn't light the back of the model, from the inner face of the vertex.
Right.
That sound good? That's not technical enough, So no, everything I do is practice, man. I just need to put a film together, something,
Question.
like Dafter. The dude rocks. The dude rocks. I love his stuff.
Frank, what were you asking?
Question, like what do you prefer compositing in? 2D, like hit film, or like a node editor?
A node editor gives you a lot of flexibility, But compositing itself, bringing everything together, hit film, man, hit film. Compositing is crazy. I just don't like it. Hit film all the way. I went pro the minute I found the software in 2015. I mean, I've been here every year donating to the cause, the software. And with the adventation of the Element 3D that I can use, man, I'm loving life, So loving life.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. I click crazy and character creator too, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Here's Nerdy Rodent has nailed down what Greg's policy. I started doing a video of abandoned projects, but then I abandoned that too.
There you go.
Patient procrastinators.
Yeah, more hard drive space waste.
That's pretty funny. And Terry says, I only do 2 films a year, Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. I mean, if you're going to do 2 films, you might as well do them on those 2 holidays, right? All right. Does anybody have another one?
Yeah, I'll do a couple of variants on one.
Okay.
So first off, I think Nathan is going to recognize at least part of this because the first couple versions I'm gonna show Nathan, you use the same background image in your Sparks tutorial.
Ah, right. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So you kind of recognize that.
Yep.
God.
Oh, neat.
Wow.
That's cool.
So that one went through several iterations. Let me think. Let me see if this one.
He said, "Hey, it's not over yet."
Yeah, go ahead and call my screen up again, Jay.
I did.
You did.
I'm watching.
This is another iteration of it. So part of this shot got used by Simon Jones in the camera projection tutorial for HitFilm 3.
Right.
And I actually started this shot while HitFilm 3 was in beta. It was the first time I beta tested for FX Home. Yay. And I'd been playing with projection, but it was before Simon had done his tutorial, so I did a bunch of stuff kind of wrong. So none of the floors and the walls on this line up. They're all hitting each other at really weird angles. But I've also discovered, and just some tips for using projection is, you can always stack other effects on top of projection, and you can always mask a plane that's going to have projection put on it. So this door in the background, after the projection, has been masked out to be the hole in the door, and then 3D extrusion was added to this door in the background, so that's adding a little bit of depth, even though that's just a plane. And it's kind of the same with these skylights at the top. Are just in there, and then the screen inserts are kind of I'd have to look to see what I did on them on this particular variant of the shot. Go ahead and leave my screen up, Jay. I'm calling up other variants of this because this iterated for a while and kept changing the camera move. And here, if you look on the skylights again at the top, you can see where once the door was going to be blown open, that it was going to emerge into the outside. So there's a whole bunch of stuff out there, and right there would have been the explosion. And then
is that 3D extruded?
Yeah. So the bit on the door at the end, yeah, just that's 3D extrusion.
Wow, that's great.
And you can see where it actually bleeds through a little bit right here at the bottom. It bleeds into transparency, but everything on the other side is a full 3D set out there. So it's sailing out of projector planes into the full 3D set.
Wow.
And then I decided, go ahead and keep the screen up. One more variation on this one.
No worries.
And then so here's the next iteration. And the next iteration was just, I really liked how this is coming out, but I don't want to keep using this guy's, some other guy's photo. So I went back to a photo I took of an underground tunnel in Heathrow Airport on my honeymoon. And this is still projection, but now it's, now I've got a bigger hallway. Now I've got more room to spin the Daleks out. I kept this floor with the lights in it. That's an element that I just continued from the original graphic that I'd stolen, just to kind of homage that I'd originally stolen that graphic. And why I stopped doing this was for a couple of reasons. And the first one will be coming up right about there. Never got the beginning of the explosion where I was happy with it. It was just going to need stock footage. It was just going to need some stock footage to deal with the particle.
That's all particle
simulator. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all particle sim. Was that?
Yeah, it was all particle sim, and some matting holes.
This is a picture of an underground tunnel at Heathrow Airport that you projected into this 3D environment.
Yeah, and
that's great.
Well, this is the one that I wanted to get this is the one, Jay, where I kind of am annoyed at myself that I didn't get this one get on last night and do what I meant to do for the prep work, because this is the one that I want to. Stay tuned to the description later, guys. It's not done yet, but at some point, a variant of this project file will be given to Jay, and it'll be linked. So, come back and look in the description, and eventually this will be... I'm not going to give you the Dalek models because one of them I paid for, so it's a commercial model. I can't give it away.
Sure.
A couple of those other models I paid for, but I'm just going to give you just the projection setup.
Right.
Because... here, let me get off that screen. Because as you can see, there's a lot going on in this tunnel, right? There's a lot of curves on it. There's a lot of boom and a boom and a boom, and there's something like 18 projection planes making this happen.
Yeah.
There's another setup for the wall screens that are showing things, and there's embedded composite shots to do all the screen inserts. And another reason I didn't finish it is I didn't quite get the Tom Baker's head is supposed to be... I haven't faked the perspective correctly yet. It's still blending over. But there's a lot of projection planes and a lot of work on this one. And I think seeing how the projector is set up, there's some interesting things there for some people to look at. I was actually very happy with this one because the whole reason that the camera starts looking at the ground was just I wanted to see if I could get away with it. Could I get away with the camera just looking straight down at the ground on this projected picture? And
I'd say you got away with it. It looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, and that's also why the camera sinks so low and then looks so high. Could I get away with looking that high in the projected image? And it holds up pretty well. It's only these ceiling lights here that kind of start to flatten out as it looks up. But I mean, otherwise, it's very impressive how well projection in hit film holds up.
It is. That's really impressive.
Yeah, and hold on. Oh, okay.
Is that the picture?
Yeah, so there. That's some of the map.
That's the picture, or some of it.
That's part of it. This would be the after it's blown out. So here's all the transparencies for the screen inserts. This was going to be the transparency for the set insert behind, and the transparencies for the skylights, so you can see outside the skylights. And let me think. Got rid of that. Got rid of that. Okay. That's kind of the...
Those are the projection planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 projector planes.
So Terry says, I learn a lot by dissecting projects to see how things are done and playing with them. And Tommy Papa says, great projects. Any chance on tutorials for creating these? I tried the ocean outside my balcony, but failed badly. The Foundry hates me. But I think we're gonna, some of these project files we'll link them in the description here so that we can.
You had that up, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, we were just looking at it. But we'll have these available in the description. They'll send me the files, and we'll get them to you guys so you can play with them.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the original image since it's here for a moment. Oh.
Lovely.
Why are all these Eiffel Towers in there? Well, you'll see that next time. There's long-suffering wife being bored while
you're taking pictures of underground tunnels in Heathrow on your honeymoon.
On our honeymoon. It was a really great, but it was a great tunnel. Come on, look at that tunnel.
She looks like she's having a ball.
But hey, I got to remove my wife, and I got to remove luggage, and I got to remove chairs, and I got to remove vending machines, and and then move those lights over, and
that looks great.
Neat.
That's fantastic.
And but yeah, I just never kind of finished that one. boy. Okay, a lot of source images there.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that one. That was really sweet.
I think we're back around
Anybody
to
else
Frank.
have another one they want to share with us?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Frank.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, go ahead and set it up, and I'll add it on here.
Okay, so this one's my head.
Your head? Is that what,
Yeah.
okay.
Unique. Yeah. Hi.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's fantastic. Wow, that's really cool.
That was funny.
That's pretty cool. So how did you do that?
Just object match moving in Blender.
So that's
stabilize
right. Here, wait a minute. We're showing it again. We gotta look at it.
Oh my goodness.
Looks lovely. That's fantastic.
I got some help with it from an old FX Home user named In the Flesh.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me some tips. That dude knew his stuff. He disappeared. He gave me some good tips for like 3D stuff before I knew what 3D stuff really, really was. Like if you look at her eye right there, I don't know if it's still up.
Yeah.
You can see the shadow of an eyelid.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So it's like it's not perfect. Like if you really, 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 really look, you'll spot some stuff. It's not quite right. Her hair by the ear.
I can see my eyeball below the fake eye, so that kind of bugs me out.
What I really like is you did a great job on patching the background where her head's caved in, because that is probably the toughest part of that shot.
Yeah, it was all a hit film. It was like it's easy to do. Just do stuff in there.
Wow, how cool!
I think it was just a still image in the background.
Oh, okay. And so was the shot? It wasn't like, did you mask it out? Did you green screen it or something and then add it? Or was she in that environment when you filmed it?
Oh, she was there. She was right there. Like everything was in one go.
Yeah. So you'd have to patch in what's behind her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool.
This next
Dapter wants a tutorial on that. Applying it to an action figure. He wants to do that.
That'd be cool. This next one is really short. If it'll stop doing stuff.
Ooh.
But I always thought it was really cool. It's the first time I started using cycles.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's like nanotechnology.
That's a later revision of that ship you showed in your earlier match move one too, isn't it?
A different one, yeah. It's
That's a different ship?
Yeah.
Looks awfully similar. That's cool though.
Yeah. Texturing is kind of eh.
Well, come on. That's pretty sweet.
And well, here now that I think about it, here's something that's actually abandoned.
Actually abandoned.
Yeah, I never came back to this.
Where were you going with this one?
I don't plan anything out back then. It was just in my head, and I would just do. It was like kind of like intuition, but now that I actually know what I'm doing, it's there was supposed to be a big star back here behind everything or in front of it.
Wow. That'd be a cool shot for sure if it ever got finished. That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's about it.
I'm dying.
Anybody got any other one they want to show us?
I have some more as well.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Dabba dabba.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Right, where is it? There it is. And there we go.
Okay.
Is that up?
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh! Fancy.
So that's very
Oh.
similar to the first one in a way, in that it's an X-wing. I mean, there's a couple of things about this shot that are kind of impossible. Like, you couldn't have an X-wing that close to that tree in the background. But it was just a small test to try using the Foundry camera tracker again, because the ship's actually tracked into the background.
I really like your depth of field from the front of the ship to the engines.
Yes. That's what I noticed. And were you pretty successful with using the Foundry camera tracker looking up?
Yeah, that worked fairly well because it was able to track the trees. So I set it off the ground plane because the floor was in the first few frames, and then it managed to track it. I don't quite know how it works, but it managed to work for that shot.
Wow, that's fantastic. Because I wouldn't think that would have worked.
It came out good. It came out good.
Someone said witchcraft earlier, so
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That's impressive.
After things on that said it was witchcraft.
It's witchcraft.
She's a witch. She's a witch. But
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
going to your witcher.
Sensei,
Plenty.
I'm gonna get more strikes today just because of you guys.
Oh, man,
doing
you think I'm
all
that good? I appreciate it.
That was pretty good. Have you guys seen?
Mm.
Has anybody seen that show? Because I've seen that show, and it's fantastic.
I have, and I'm like the person who's like, why is that damn song so popular?
Oh, forget the song, and the show is
The
fantastic.
show, yeah, the show was solid, but you know, that song came on. It's like, okay, the elves gave him the magic instrument, but he needs another lyricist.
He dumped the
Sorry.
guy. He's out of
I
here.
don't like the rest of it. Just the chorus is the only cool part to me.
There's always a bard in D&D.
Yeah, well, it's a good show. It's a good show. That and The Mandalorian are my two shows that I've seen recently, and I love both of those shows, man. They're awesome. They're really something impressive.
Yeah.
Greg, it looks like you're bringing something up here for us to see. You're muted, Greg. I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where I made this at, but yeah, it's not really abandoned. I was looking at how cool I got the parallax going on.
Yeah, can we see it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add it up. I'm gonna put it on here.
All right, let me.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're up.
All right, we're ready.
All right, I'll just play the thing. It's probably pretty slow, but yeah, 30.
No, it's good.
I did this in. I was trying to figure out where I did it. Element 3D and hit film last month.
No kidding.
Yeah. I was amazed. I was amazed. It's just
That's
about 3D
fantastic.
models stacked inside of Element's group. And
What's
I brought it
unfinished
back
about
out
that?
and lit it up with hit film's lights and stuff. That's why I was trying to figure out where what I could share. But then I was like, wow.
That is so. You did that in the Element 3D plugin and hit film?
Yeah.
Dang, man, no kidding.
Just,
Ooh, that's unbelievable. That's lovely.
yeah, it's pretty cool how it interacts with the hit film lights. I like that.
Yeah,
Just a
Very
overall
cool.
compositing. So
I'm with
Don't
Court.
undersell yourself, man. You're awesome.
I'm with Court. I want to know why or how you would think that was abandoned. That can't be abandoned.
and then no. Yeah. No. There's something gonna go. I want to turn it into a desert scene, right? Like with a canyon
Okay.
and use some TIE fighters and shit going down
Mm.
getting blasted by guns from the cliffs of the sand dunes. Right. You know,
Yeah, that would be cool. But that was a heck of a shot. I mean, that was really impressive.
Well, Element works so easy inside HitFilm. I mean, HitFilm Raw 3D really pukes down a slow computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I do all that on my Mac. In Element, man, you can. What I have 36 models in that BB-8 scene I did.
Right.
I could rotate anywhere with zero lag. I could play the playhead with zero lag.
No kidding.
Unbelievable. And you know, just turn the lights off. In HitFilm, I can't do that. You know, it stutters.
Wow.
I like it. It's harder to composite in a 2D layer, you know, into a 3D world. But Element gives you the ability to change your compositing masks. So you just take your scene, instead of being scene, just make a composite, any kind of a matte you want, you know, depth, matte, whatever. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I hope they get it fixed 100%. You know, it's a little buggy right now. For one, it requires Adobe After Effects to be installed. And that's just boo, you know, especially if you don't want their software on your stuff.
Right.
So, and then you can't create 3D nulls and stuff, but I'm sure they'll get it all figured out.
Tony asks, do you all tend to play and see what you can do rather than have a plan for a particular short film or something like that?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
Most of my shots are just test shots that I just throw together and see what happens, really. And then sometimes I have to plan things, but I tend to just have
you know, sometimes a shot will get abandoned because you're like, I learned what I needed to learn from it, but now, you know.
Now I'm done.
Yeah.
And I don't really have anywhere I'm going to go with it. Yeah. Some of the most unusual things that I've ever done come from, you know, I'm just playing around. I'm just like playing in the toy box, you know, and then I put together something and I go, hey man, this is pretty cool actually. So, in fact, I did, and a lot of times things will morph right from one thing to another. Like I did, let me pull up my own screen. I did this. This was based on Stu Masowicz's car rig, you know, his little toy he called it a pull rig because he had a couple of different, you know, leading points that he used to kind of create a realistic car driving around on the floor. He did it for a commercial. And that morphed into I was going to do that tutorial, but instead I ended up doing it the vector graphic car driving through the terrain instead. That's what it morphed into. So it started off as one thing and then it became something else, and I never got around to doing the original thing that I was going to do. You know, sometimes that's just how it goes.
Do you have to plug it into the...
Hold on.
I think Frank and Court have lost their camera, but we can still hear you, so that's the good news.
Oh, so you heard all that giggling? I'm
so
yeah. I'm just laughing at myself.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You don't really need the camera.
Right.
And Dapper says the aging effect, perfect for something I had planned out, but it was just a bit of fun for me. It was because I found the software that I was using to do it, which was EB Synth, and then I just, instead of doing what it's supposed to do, which it's supposed to be a cartoon creator, it's supposed to be a creator where you create your own, you know, like a cartoon of your own drawing. I actually tried to draw out, and I suck as an artist. It's terrible. So I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Maybe I can cheat and use something else. So I ended up using FaceApp to make the aging effect. And I thought, there's no way this is going to work. It's just not, it's not going to happen. And it did. And it was, what was amazing was it was all using all 3 different applications, and all 3 of those applications were free at the same time. So it was just like, I'm just playing. Hey, we see your M&Ms. There you go.
And the fan.
You're upside down, but you look really good upside down. There you go. Now you look good.
And I've just remembered to download EB Synth now that I'm back home.
Yeah, do that. It's a pretty cool. It's an amazingly powerful little free application without any question.
That was pretty cool what you did there. I wouldn't have aged myself though. I would have tried to reverse the process.
I actually started with the reverse age, and I look like a punk, man. I'm like, oh no, I can't put that up, man. I look like some punk thug wannabe kid, you know? Oh my word. I never looked like that when I was young. This is terrible. Yeah, it was awful. So I said, I'm gonna go the other way. So, but that was a lot of times I just play around with stuff until, I find something. Because I'm just in the sandbox. I'm in the toy box, and other times I actually am planning on doing something that's specific for a contest or something like that. But almost never do I make a movie just to make a movie. It's either for some sort of a contest or to prove or demonstrate some sort of an effect. That's it. How about you guys? That
Yeah. Same.
Just playing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, sometimes I have an idea in my head, and sometimes I'm just playing around to see what I can come up with.
Or I'll see something that I like and say, I wonder if I can do that in hit film.
Or somebody will ask a question. How do you do something in hit film?
Yeah. And then you go, well, I'm not really sure. Let me go play with this for a while. I have an idea. And then I go ask Mike, and he knows, and then I just do that.
Or I remember that somebody else figured this out a long time ago.
Yeah. There's nothing new under the sun, right? Somebody's done it at some point. So,
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, which way?
There.
Which way? Can you see it? Can you see it?
He's wearing it too.
Wait. Where's Mike?
Oh, cool.
Cool. Right.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me show you this
your
one.
question, Jay.
There. Here we go. Dark Lord of the Sith satellite tour right here on my mug.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Nathan has not answered this question.
Uh-oh.
Nathan has not answered the question.
Query.
Here it is, Nathan, for you.
Right. This is a hard one because I love both of them.
Snap.
At the moment, I'm in quite a Star Warsy mood, probably as you can tell from my X-wing shots and stuff. And also with the new film coming out, I've been watching all of the other Star Wars films. I haven't yet got around to watching Picard. I do want to watch that. So I'm probably going to have to go for Star Wars just this time because, you've got lightsabers and blasters.
We will not hold that against you.
That's right.
Well, I was talking to Zach Allen because Zach Allen is coming on my show, and he said I'm gonna do some preparation work for the last question. And I thought I'm gonna have to change the question. It's gonna have to be something else now.
Not until out. If Zach's prepping, you got to let him do that first.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just joking around, but it would be pretty funny. All right, Zach, here comes the question. Babylon 5 or Stargate, something like that.
Babylon 5.
Like, what? What? Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. All right, well, I guess we probably ought to wrap it up. What do you think?
Oh, I had one more.
Oh, okay. Show it to us.
Yeah.
We'll do you one more, and then we can wrap it up. How about that?
It's another fairly long one.
Okay. We're okay with that. We like your stuff.
It's like 2 minutes. Come on.
Okay, that's a long time. I don't know if we have 2 minutes.
Waiting for it to load. There it is.
Hold another second.
All right.
Oh, wait. Let me get rid of this. There we go. All right. Ooh, this is new.
Oh, he's going to land. Look at him go. Omega. Let him know. He talks.
Wow, that's great.
Oh, there's the TARDIS. Oh,
Mhm. Wow. Okay, that's cool.
my. Got a little battalion. It was a little enterprisey. Neat. Oh, I like the old look, like rusty, like been used. Ha 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 ha, cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm just trying to make a phone call, guys. That's cool.
Wow.
And that's as far as I've gotten on that one so far.
That was pretty cool. Well, look, Zach is actually here, so now my whole plan is shot. Thanks a lot, Zach. See how you turned out.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, good to
I'm
see
waiting
you,
for that
Zach.
to be finished. So, why
Zach
is
says
this one?
he's waiting for this one to be finished, Mike. Why isn't it finished?
Well, so first off, this started back in Hit Film 3. And I want to bring that up because that bit with all the Daleks coming together and forming that array around the TARDIS was hand animated. It's a whole bunch of different Daleks, and I had to move them all in their different groups, and it was really, really tedious and annoying.
Wow.
And then Hit Film 4 came out, and the particle simulator added the grid emitter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember talking to Simon about this, going, I got to go back. I did not beta test. Earlier in the stream, I said I beta tested Hit Film 3. I did not beta test Hit Film 3. I just did that projector thing before Simon had done a tutorial because I did not beta test. The first time I got to beta test was Hit Film 2017. Yeah.
In version 5.
So...
Because you didn't know the grid effect was
right, because I remember with that one being really annoyed with Simon and just being like, this is the second time in a row it happened, because I spent a lot of time in Hit Film 2 figuring out, I'm going to call up another quickie, here, this one, that's coming up on my screen. Go away, graphic. So this fleet flyby, all these flying saucers, this was done in the particle simulator in Hit Film 2. And now these days you would think, it's simple. You pop in the 3D model and you're done. But Hit Film 2 didn't support 3D models in the particle simulator. So getting this to happen with the camera matching the saucers on the flyby, there was a real, neat trick that I had to do with it. And it would have actually been my first tutorial, telling people how to fake this sort of stuff. And then Hit Film 3 came out, and you could just add 3D models into the particle simulator, and I was like, okay, well, so much for that trick. And then Hit Film, the Doctor Who thing I just showed is all about getting those Daleks in there, and then Hit Film 4 added the grid emitter, and suddenly I could just do it with the particle simulator in a couple of seconds, just a circle emitter and the model, and, have them all aligned at the target point in the center, and I was like, I spent hours on that. Oh my god, the new particle simulator could make me do this I rebuilt the thing and got them all, and then, made them all fly apart and then rendered that out and reversed it so that they flew back together. I'm like, oh my god, that took 15 minutes. Curse you, FX Home, for making things easier. But,
Damn it!
for making your software better.
That's going to be the question. So
And now you've got and now they're doing all the, hit film 12, 13, 14. And it's like, you guys are iterating, right? Somebody on the forum a couple days ago, is there a comparison chart between Hit Film Express and Hit Film Pro? And I'm like, yeah, I used to maintain one, and then they kept changing the software too quickly, and I kept having to redo the chart every 2 months.
I think Justin had one, right?
Anyway, why I haven't finished that Doctor Who thing, and I'm going to blame Tony C., who I don't think is here today.
Can't defend himself.
But I'm going to blame Tony C. because remember when we did the panel, right? The last big panel discussion, yes. And Tony brought up I brought up that sun that was going right over the sun and all those solar flares and all that, and I said to Tony, come on, man, I've been waiting for you. You were going to do a tutorial. I've been waiting years for how you did that, and then he talked about it. Yes. And that's kind of what I've been waiting for because, that Doctor Who fan film will eventually end with, all of the Daleks being destroyed and a whole bunch more Daleks being destroyed. And, Tony C. also built that Dalek mothership.
Oh, wow.
That's in there.
Enterprising thing, as Court just called it.
Yeah, I'll just let that run as I ramble. So Tony built, Tony built this mothership for me.
Right here. That's sweet.
Just see NCC 17 right there.
Yeah. And there's also, I've changed the TARDIS model I'm going to use. The TARDIS model that I'm using at the beginning is one of the free ones off of Turbo Squid that everybody uses. Mm-hmm. And then again, Tony gave me one of his TARDIS models, not his Capaldi model, but his Matt Smith one. So it was getting to the point where I was going to be redoing a lot of this because I was going to have to swap out the models and relay a bunch of stuff on that. And waiting for the sun, which will be, eventually the Doctor's going to cause a solar flare, and that'll destroy the remainder of the Daleks on the mothership. And there's a lot of particle sim work on this. There are some tutorials you could get out of this. I love using the particle simulator for weapons fire.
Mm-hmm. Procedural.
Yeah, for procedural weapons fire. So this is just, all of these Daleks firing, it's all particle sim, and it's just I'm moving a couple of points around as things fire or not. But I mean, all of these beams, these are all sparks. I think it's the, sparks and sparks star in different proportions, depending on whether it's one of the new series Daleks or one of the 1980s Daleks. There's a box deflector around the TARDIS, so all of those things are hitting and triggering all the shield impacts, right?
That's fantastic.
So that's all that interaction is all procedural within the particle simulator.
That's just a cube deflector. Is that what that is? Is that what you just said? A cube deflector that you wrapped around the TARDIS?
Yeah.
Are all of the different laser bolts separate emitters inside of the particle simulator, or are they separate particle simulator effect layers?
Good question. They're all separate emitters within the same particle simulator layer.
Right, yeah.
And I've done that for actually the TARDIS itself is also part of the particle simulator. Mm-hmm. And this was a shot. This one was actually redone in Hit Film 4 with the particle simulator. So this is all one particle simulator, and the reason I'm doing that is it just makes the occlusion a lot easier, right? If I drop in a single particle for the TARDIS and just drop in the TARDIS as one single particle, then it's part of the same particle simulator, and now I don't have to mess with occlusion maps for anything because everything's part of the same particle simulator, right?
So the TARDIS is one particle, the Daleks are a bunch of other particles, and then the laser beams are other particles, but they're all part of the same layer.
Yeah.
Wow, no kidding.
And that way I don't have to mess around with occlusion or anything like that. And it made that a lot easier to set up. And yes, there are a bunch of emitters, and they're kind of several emitters on point rig, and they're just moving from Dalek to Dalek as they start and stop firing. And since the Daleks are arranged in that perfectly spaced rig, it just became move 10 degrees every time. 10 degrees, move 10 degrees, move 10 degrees. And so, and the disadvantage of that is, of course, some of the earlier shots in this, right? The TARDIS, the windows were glowing, and the police box sign was glowing, and the lamp was glowing, and it's not glowing in this shot. The reason for that is it is all the same layer, so I was going to have to go back and do another pass to make the TARDIS glows happen, but I would be able to use this same particle simulator. I would just duplicate the particle simulator layer, drop out the TARDIS itself, and then I could use that to generate the mat. Or what was I going to do to generate the mat? I don't know. I was going to use the particle simulator again.
I've never actually messed around with material overrides within a particle simulator. Can you do that?
I think you can, but my God, it would be slow.
I would think so, but couldn't you just use an illumination material override and just duplicate it and use that instead?
I probably could, but I'm still set up to since everything is kind of set up to do the old style method where it's all layered up the way that Simon Jones explained in that tutorial a long time ago. The lights, that's how that's how I've got everything set up. But the particle simulator is great for all of that. That
was a sweet shot, though. My gosh, that was fantastic.
Well, it's like this, this one is fairly. I've called this one up a lot of the time, and again, this is all one.
I love this one.
Particle simulator, mostly one particle simulator, right? For this planet, these rings, all the spaceships here, all of the weapons fire, all of the explosions. So I really do love setting things up with the particle simulator to do that sort of thing, because I don't have to worry about occlusion, and I don't have element set up, so I might have to look at it. But with the particle simulator, depth flares, when they added those in Hit Film 2017, I really never had any problems setting up occlusions in animations in Hit Film. It's never been...
Because they're all in the same layer, so they all occlude correctly because of
right, that. Or this one is another one where it's a Hit Film 4 particle system. I lie on this, it's actually 2 particle systems. Shh. But yeah. Oh boy. I put the credits in the front, did I? Right, this one, and you can do this kind of massive fleet action with the particle simulator, and it's not too hard, because all I've done is I've only animated one of those Cylon fighters. So as you can see that they're all starting to peel off and spin, but they're just all offset by about 6 or 7 seconds. And then even this weapons fire, that's the second particle simulator, and there's an all-black copy of the Cylon Raiders with white spheres popped in there for the engine glows. And then there are 2 3D cylinders hidden inside the all-black copy of the Cylon, and those are just animated to, hand animated to snap out of the model and move forward 10,000 or so and then go back. So that really is, the entire thing is one animated model, and then kind of one duplicated instance for the engine glow and the lasers. But if you just stagger it out with the particle simulator and apply just a little bit of lifetime stuff to that, so maybe there's 50, the speed of each of the particles is 50 or something like that, so they've got a little bit of drift within themselves, but you can get this very complicated looking shot just by animating one model and duplicating it over and over and over again.
How long did this shot take you to do?
How long did it take me to do?
Yeah, in total.
Not very long at all. It took forever to render. I whipped this out I probably whipped this out in a night, because it really is literally, I animated the one thing. I set up the particle simulator, and then I just kind of created 3 cameras in the scene and let them go. So it was a very fast build. I built the entire thing in an evening. It's the render time. I'm not sure how long it took.
That's crazy. When this is before Action Pro, where you could really animate some very organic movement quickly.
Well, it was Cylon Raiders are it's the flip and the fall, so there's really not that much.
Yeah, to animate. It's just
I don't think there's that much animation. They're just all rolling over. There's a roll, a flip, and a straight down, and that's all there is. And I mean, even I was surprised since it's just various things are offset by about 10 or 8 to 10 seconds in the spawning. That's what's generating so much of that movement. But even I would am surprised looking at this at how much chaotic movement it looks like there has, even though everything is doing exactly the same thing. And a lot of it just comes from choosing the camera angle, so that if I have some of the things that are still flying straight while others are diving, it looks very chaotic, but everything is doing exactly the same thing. It's one single ship. Everything moves and fires at the same speed at the same time. There's just so many of them that it ended up looking chaotic. So, yeah,
that's really cool.
There's a tutorial in there somewhere.
I would say. I use the same principle, and I got it from you. You showed me how to do it when I did my ships going out into hyperspace thing. And I had a whole fleet, and then I just staggered them out, and they all launched at different times
to get them to do the stretch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think
you're the one
that.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Battle with behaviors,
right? Tutorial on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's so powerful. I mean, so powerful. But that's an amazing shot, especially getting it done in the time frame that you built it. That's crazy.
Yeah. So otherwise, just a reminder for those who came in late, come back in. Dafter, you can use a video as a particle. Hold on, let me. It's a Simon Jones tutorial on setting this up. Is the best one that I can think of.
Hang on, he's looking it up now. As soon as it comes up on the screen, I'll share it.
Hit film. Aha! Found it. Create a clone army using a particle engine. Simon Jones, November 24th, 2013. I will go post that in the chat. Whoops, I can't post in the chat from the screen. I got to go over to the stream on YouTube.
Nice going.
Hey, people are watching it right now. Hey, here's me in the past saying I can't put. There we go.
Can't do that.
So there's the link for that. Whoops, remove the web address and try again.
Wait a minute. Do I have to add you to the list here?
Huh? No, it might just be. What did you add me to the list in the?
I have added you as a moderator before. You'll have to. Have you posted already today?
I had not, but no, it just doesn't. It doesn't like the fact that I'm posting a link.
Yeah, post a quick something. Just say hi in the chat room. Okay, there we go.
Now can I post the link?
Add as a moderator. Okay,
there
now you can do it.
All right. So yeah, Tony, that's an old tutorial for HitFilm 2, but that's always the first one that comes to mind for me on setting up video objects as particles. And yeah, you can start them at different points in the video. Simon won't cover this in his video, but what you can do is when you set up the start frame parameter in the particle simulator, that can be keyframed. So you can keyframe the start frame, or you can just like let's say I start here and I spawn particles for 1 second. Obviously, there will be a second of spread between the particles as they spawn over 1 second, and you can also keyframe the start frame. In the Battlestar Galactica shot I just showed, that's what I did to space out the Cylons. They only spawn over 1 second, but I animated the start frame for 8 seconds apart. So yes, you can do what you're talking about. Just be warned that once you add a video as a particle, it's going to slow the system down. Be warned that once you start adding an animated particle as the system, start using the video, that's going to slow things down. And then be aware that as you start spreading out the start frame so that they're staggered, that's really going to slow things down because you are very quickly generating dozens, if not, possible hundreds of duplicates of your guy. I think we talked about, I think I brought this up before in another, in other tutorials or other panels. Just make sure that, if you've got a 1920 by 1080 screen and the video you're using is that big, trim your composite shot so that it only holds what you're actually using. You don't want a bunch of blank space around the on the video frame, because a video object in HitFilm's particle simulator isn't really a video object, it's a quad emitter. And then you're gonna, so if it's a 1920 by 1080 plane, it's always the 19 by 1080 plane. And then let's say, for sake of argument, I only want the text, the thank you. So I've just got this thank you text and then the rest of the plane. Well, it's a quad emitter that's going to be reading alpha. So it's still spawning particles from here and everywhere else. It's just if it's transparent pixel, it's a transparent particle. Well, only the thank yous would be generating an orange. So if I have the entire frame like that, then we're wasting a lot of processing power as it's generating all these particles. So what I would want to do is I'd want to, trim that down so that that's my layer. To minimize the wasted particles, the transparent particles that aren't showing up. Make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Did you post the link in the chat room? I couldn't tell.
For Simon's video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it. That's why I'm asking.
Right under Nathan's, I think you can, but you might find it in the appearance settings for the layer.
I don't see it. That's why I was asking. I see Nathan's, but I don't see it. You don't see it either. Why don't you repost it again? Maybe it didn't post. There. Darn it. That I see.
How about here it is again?
There it is. Okay. Now I see.
Okay. Good.
Awesome.
Good. So yeah, that'll get you started, and otherwise, the one Doctor Who thing I showed, which was the if you're tuning in late, or if you're watching this on the replay and you've made it this far, this one it's not up yet. I haven't gotten it to Jay, but in the next at some point. It won't be today because I actually have to get ready to go to an engagement party in the next 15 minutes. But there will be a partial project for this one. It won't have the 3D models in it, but it'll have the background and the setup and the projection setup, so you can take that apart and take a look at it, because there's some neat things on projection there.
That's going to be great.
And it'll eventually be in the description, right?
Yeah. I'll play with that too. But I'll put it in the description of this video when he sends it to me. And Greg also has a project file that he wants to send over that we'll put in the description too.
That was going to be his first one, right? With the space station pullout.
Yeah, the space station pullout, right, Greg?
Right.
Yeah, good. I want that one myself.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna come back and watch this video just to get those.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put those in the description though when I get them. There's your comment right there with Simon's tutorial on that. That'd be fantastic. Well, I think we ought to wrap it up. Mike has a place to go. I'm sure my wife is going to wonder where I'm at too. So.
Yeah, you were starting to wrap this up about 45 minutes ago, and then someone had to start talking again.
Who was that? Frank, come on, man.
Calm down.
Yeah, come on, Frank. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. Nathan, do you have any last words you would like to add in?
It was nice being on here. I learned a lot, and it was fun. Yeah,
It was a pleasure. Would love to have you come back and share some more.
I would love to be back on.
Awesome. Greg, any last minute words you'd like to say?
Thanks for inviting me. And that guy Frank over there in the bottom right corner. Sure, I'm looking for a filmer update, man.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
Oh,
Sorry.
look at me.
I had a live music gig last night, and I would not talk or do anything that wasn't related to this gig for like a week and a half. So I'm sorry.
Courtney taking one for the team here.
That's right.
And Frank, I am having you come on here in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from now, I think.
Okay.
We will be talking about Filmer, and we'll be getting an update for sure during that one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Any last words you want to say, Frank?
Thank you, all you guys.
Yeah,
You guys are great. Freaking awesome.
Amazing. So talented. Thank
And
you
all the
very
guys
much.
over here on the side.
Yeah, Doctor.
Yep. Terry 4K.
Bill.
Bill, Bob, whatever. Zach Allen. We're going to have Zach coming on the show.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, crazy talented. Loved his tutorial that he did for FX Home. Mike, do you have any last things you'd like to say?
I'm going to plug Nathan's channels, actually, because he's got two. Nathan's first channel, I believe your initial channel, Nathan, is that's your brick film stuff, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and he's got some of his stuff is funny. Tony, you'll wanna check that out because you're a fellow stop motion animator. I like the one with the Yeti. And then your second channel is tutorials, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I've just added all your stuff to my massive playlist of hit film tutorial channels.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hit Film University has these great playlists of all kinds of hit film tutorials. So if you ever need the definitive everything hit film to learn, that's the place to go for sure. So
It's a way to keep yourself relevant when you haven't actually done a tutorial in 2 years.
but everybody loves
Playlist everybody else's and be like, hey, if you want to find a tutorial, go to my channel and then go subscribe to all these other people. Are you complaining?
Oh, here we go. Nathan is not a Welsh; it's an English accent. Yes, Nathan, you have an English accent, is what it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
Terry says he has a friend from Wales, and you sound like him apparently. So, Mike, last words. Or that was your last words.
It was.
Oh, good. Just kidding. I'm going to have Mike back also on February 22nd, and we're going to talk about 3D model workflow. Greg?
Yay.
Yeah. And have Greg. I'll have to have Greg
3D
on.
model workflow within hit film. The opener disclaimer would be like, look, if you're really serious, then go talk to Frank and get into Filmer.
Yep, and go talk to Greg because he's got the light
Mike,
down.
You do the same thing. Whatever you do, it's valid, dude.
Yep.
Whatever you do will translate to any other program. So just tell them what you got to tell them, dude. It's right. Whatever you're doing is right.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Of like abandoned projects, you talk about like things you kind of let go and let to the wayward side and stuff, but as someone else mentioned, you can learn things from what you didn't see back then and maybe something you could do better or reinvest an idea or go somewhere else. There's always something, and you guys all have such wonderful imaginations when it comes to taking these things apart. You're all on the same page and it's wonderful. I don't want anybody to give up, abandon, or get away from any of these projects because they're all part of what made you the creator you are now.
I'm still in the parking lot waiting to be let into the gossip room.
Okay,
You're in the gossip room.
I know.
To the door, all right.
I'm still at home waiting for the Uber to pick me up to bring me to the parking lot.
Listen, you asked for a limo and I can't afford that, so I'm gonna send an Uber, okay?
All right, that's nice. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. And what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, next week will be Justin Barrett Justin Barrett will be here, and Justin
Jeff.
is
Clever
amazing.
tagline.
Oh yeah, clever tagline. He is fantastic, and I can't wait to have him. So looking forward to that. Otherwise, again, thanks to everybody, and thanks to everybody who's watching the show. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks